combat.
I'm at Gen Con without any dice. Oops.
Oh my God,
Hi,
what is
I'm
going on
sweaty.
here?
I've been in the booth working.
Hello,
True.
everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Roll for Combat Live, where we're coming to you live from the Sagamore Ballroom at Gen Con to talk to you about the launch of Starfinder 2nd Edition.
Ooh.
And who are we here with today, Mark?
Well, that's a good question, Stephen. Why don't we let them introduce themselves?
I'm Jenny Jarzowski, creative manager of Starfinder at Paizo.
Hello, my name is Thurston Hillman. I am the associate publisher at Paizo, who also worked on Starfinder. I hope you're having a great day, Internet.
Yes.
You're looking good today. Are you working out? It's good.
So here we are in the Sagamore Ballroom. And for those who don't know, so Gen Con, although a wonderfully fun time had by all, they're a little cheap. They don't turn on the air conditioning until tomorrow. So we're in this ballroom where it is not quite 10,000 degrees.
No,
A little below.
no, that would be downstairs.
That would be downstairs. Downstairs is the 9th circle of hell. This is just the
yeah.
5th
Well,
circle
hold
of
on.
hell.
I wish downstairs was the 9th
Right.
circle. The 9th circle is the one that's
Excited.
frozen over.
Well,
Yeah.
But
It's hot.
it's still
hot.
very
It's
hot,
hot.
and we
Very hot.
were lucky to even have power for this setup because the people who were in the room were not sure if the plug was going to work, but it did. And so now we're here. It just took a little bit of extra time,
Yeah.
and we're ready to tell you all sorts of cool things that you will
Starfinder.
hear about Starfinder.
Yes, and my phone is being used to transmit this, so I can't see the chat.
Oh.
But Thirsty
Only
is
I'm
Thursday.
bringing it up.
Only
It's happening.
Thursday.
So,
Yeah.
so
Chat
if you have
master.
questions, feel free to throw them in the chat.
Yep.
So Thirsty and
Remember to
team,
super chat too, because that's the way we definitely listen.
We will
See, am I
always-
shilling for you? I got
Yes.
you. I got
Yeah.
you.
Now ask them if they have thumbs.
Do they have thumbs?
Do you have thumbs?
So, by the way, here's a fun little fact. The very first person I ever told about Roll for Combat, and the very first person who ever worked indirectly for me at Roll for Combat, is Thirsty Hillman.
Hello. Yeah, that's me. I
That's
did.
right.
I did a fun PDF, and then I was in the first episode of Roll for Combat, the Dead Sons, where I was brutally murdered immediately. It was good.
Yeah.
So we can blame you.
Yeah, you can blame me for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Truth.
Everything
Truth.
that happened after that, it all started with Thirsty.
No,
Yeah.
I was here at Gen Con and I showed him the business card and I was like, oh, we're going to do Starfinder and we're going to do an actual play.
Yeah.
And I was all gung-ho into Starfinder, almost
Heck
as
yeah.
much as Derek Melinda is into Daggerheart. But, oh, hey, there,
Oh,
he's
there he
saying
is.
hi.
There he is.
He's running the AV equipment here. He set this up in 5 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
That's how
It was
It was
actually
We have
overall
like
great.
we have like 4 chairs we're utilizing and several extension cords. We are professionals.
that's how we are.
Yeah, we are.
We call ourselves that. Anyhow, enough chit chat. Tell us
Oh.
all about this little thing called Starfinder. Now, everyone keeps asking us to put out Starfinder books and products, but we keep telling them we did because
Mhm.
everything we did for Pathfinder 2nd Edition will
Yeah.
work.
That's true. Just
Yeah.
pop a laser gun on some of those monsters and you're good to go,
I mean,
honestly.
People, one of the things I certainly see online from 1st edition to 2nd edition Starfinder is this fear of losing the cantina. It's a
Mhm.
big fear. Now, because in Pathfinder 2nd edition's engine, like ancestries take up a lot more space. It's not like Starfinder 1 where you had this like little micro paragraph thing that was a whole species. Well, we've adjusted that a bit, and we certainly have some bigger, more detailed ancestries in Starfinder 2nd edition, but also all of the Pathfinder ancestries immediately work.
And the ones Roll for
then-
Combat's made were.
Yeah, exactly. And we, you know what? We then kind of were like, what if we took it a step further? And then we did this cool box here, Murder in Metal City. Someone needs to show off because I have short T-Rex
So
arms.
good.
Yes.
And this is an adventure, but why I talk about it in terms of ancestries is we even crammed a new ancestry in the back of that. The plant-like Khazar is in
Mhm.
there. Heck, just yesterday we released 2 more ancestries for free on a blog. We put it out with Org Play. That's the thing about this new edition that I think is just exciting is getting so much of this fun new content out there in lots of different avenues. It's not just these books, which you should come get Player Core if you haven't already, but this is just the start. There's so much going on with Starfinder.
Yes.
Yeah. So, by the way, all you need to do is just put the word space in front of all the roll for combat stuff.
Yeah.
So, if you want to
There you
play
go.
a space dungeon, now you can.
I mean,
if you want to play
exactly.
a space dragon, now you can.
Hon-
That's it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
honestly. Oh, a space Hulk. There
Yeah.
you
There
go.
you go.
But
A space Hulk. A space
honestly,
dungeon.
though,
Wait. You don't want to get sued. You don't want to
Oh,
get
no.
sued.
Okay.
But if you think about our September ancestry figments, which were written by Jessica Redicop, and they're basically
Ooh.
like living cartoons that use cartoon logic to do things like break the fourth wall, come into the world, and look behind the GM screen to see a secret roll, or
That's perfect.
pull out a giant hammer from hammer space
Oh,
to
that's
bonk
cool.
something,
Yeah.
or turn a critical hit into they just turn into an accordion or something like that and take less damage. That fits in Starfinder maybe even more than in Pathfinder.
Definitely.
I agree.
So let's talk about some stuff we aren't releasing tomorrow, because we are releasing Player Core tomorrow, and that is fantastic. But we've also been talking about that book for a while. People have
Sure.
kind of seen a lot
Like, give
online.
them the secrets here.
Yeah,
now
let's
that they haven't seen.
let's talk some secrets. So like on the note you were just talking about there with the sort of cartoony ancestry. Some of the fun we've had with Alien Core, which is our big monster book, is some of the abilities we get to give creatures in Starfinder are just ridiculous. I wrote a daemon that is all about like death by social media. So it like embodies death, and it has
Content
a reaction.
warning,
Yeah,
but-
it has a reaction called "well, actually,"
Yeah.
and it can well actually you in combat, and stuff like that is just fun. One of the things I've seen a lot of commentary online about is that we get to put like kind of real world meme stuff into our game, and that like more so it feels less out of place in this game than it does in say Pathfinder, right? And that is something we lean into as part of the spirit of the setting, but the setting still is pretty dark and has some pretty horrific things, which is great and fun to explore as well.
Yeah, just look at this cover. I mean, on the back, you can't really see it here, but there's a super scary like face here. It's one of this is our
Yeah, it's chain gun devil.
chain gun devil.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Uh,
But
Yeah.
yeah, I really appreciate all the little references and allusions and homages in the Starfinder stuff.
Yeah.
It makes me. I wanted to put that stuff in Pathfinder, and I was usually the one who was like, yeah, I've got a feat for swashbucklers that's like, I'm not left-handed. And then it's like, well,
wow.
that's in the Princess Bride. That doesn't fit with the genres of Pathfinder.
Yeah.
We can't put something like that in there.
But in look, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that the soldier class has like a million action hero tropes.
But
in
it
there.
totally
But-
does.
Yeah.
And Steven, who can't stop, has already cracked open the Murder in Metal City.
Yeah,
box.
I mean,
Well,
look,
yeah, in
look
a
how
second, we'll
cool
show
the
this
stuff that's
in
in here is.
Yeah.
Well, in a second, but actually, I did want to say something because I played Starfinder first edition from the beginning, and I saw the transition. It's so funny. It felt like when Starfinder came out, it was going to be kind of serious, but then it started to get silly.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then they leaned really into the silly, like with the Skidamanders, and even the vest got silly. And I was just like, I don't know why, but at the time I was thinking, it was like, okay, we have Star Wars, we have Dune, like we already had enough serious sci-fi, and the more silly you guys got, the more fun it was, and it seemed like everyone wanted it and everyone enjoyed it.
Psychedelic space walruses.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Put those
I
into the
remember
game.
that.
Yeah, like
It's hard to imagine thinking of Star Wars as being serious sci-fi, but when compared to psychedelic,
compared,
yeah.
Right.
it is.
Yeah,
and you know what? There was actually a push in the early days for keeping it serious and maintaining that sort of like no hard line in the sand.
I remember.
And I remember introducing psychedelic space walruses and then being told that, oh, Thurston, you probably shouldn't have done this. It might cause issues. And then I remember like a year later, the same person who told me that, one of our old creative director, Rob, who's an awesome guy, he came up to me like a year later. He's like, so Thurston, we're doing another Alien archive, and it'd be really cool if we could, put the space walrus on the cover. And I'm like,
Yes. That's when you knew you won.
That's
Well, I
right.
wanted you at the space otter.
Oh,
We have those
yeah.
two. Brinary.
Brinary, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, we see Starfinder very much as it can have very serious and dark moments. In fact, if you get it's a playtest adventure, but Empire's Devoured, it still works with second edition. It's a really good example of that because it has some really dark like wartime themes, and there's some pretty epic, scary scenes going on in there. But then we have the silliness because I feel like this game is really more like the Galaxy Quest or lower decks of sci-fi, like what Mark was saying.
And you can still play. You can play it serious. You can
Sure.
you can lean into both sort of angles.
No, it does.
Yeah, but even in lower decks, some pretty horrible things.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
you
yeah,
need
yeah.
on that
shift.
show,
Yeah,
right?
you need those tonal shifts.
Oh
for it
wait,
to be
we're
playable.
getting the voice of God being added.
Yeah. So no, people just want to know, like, what about other genres like anime or
Oh, hell
magic?
yeah.
Using it as sort of more of a space fantasy type situation.
Lots of fantasy.
So the GM core that we're gonna have coming out in 2 months, that talks a lot about like genres, and it goes into sort of different ways for running your campaign. There's a whole section in there too that I really like that Dustin Knight did the pretty lead on, was talking about anachronistic adventures, which is how do you mix the chocolate with the peanut butter? If you want to take your Pathfinder campaign, how do you mix those rules? What's going to work? What's not? And it's not, we're not giving hard and fast, like, if you wish to run it, you must do this. But it's very much like a lot of GM information and like, hey, keep in mind that in Starfinder, we have ancestries that fly at first level and have guns that don't need to reload. That's a thing. I think giving that type of advice will let people figure out how these components will work in their respective games.
I think that's right. Like, my group is like pretty hardcore. Like, you would think the person who worked at Paizo is the most hardcore, but some of the other GMs are more hardcore on balance than what they are going to let me get away with. And there's pretty much, I've been looking at things, pretty much a consensus so far from what we've seen from Starfinder that almost anything from Pathfinder 2nd Edition can go into Starfinder 2nd Edition with little or no problem at all. But you have to put a hairy eyeball on the Starfinder going into the Pathfinder.
I would say.
Specifically for things that are related to the flying or melee doing a lot because the range is the meta. And so therefore, if you actually get into melee, you need to get extra advantages for it in Starfinder that Pathfinder melee do not need to have, and other things
or
like that.
like you have you're a time traveler who got shunted back in time. You've got your cool space gun, but where are you getting ammo when you've shot it all? So these are the things that chapter that Thirsty mentioned talk about and give advice on.
And I go back to a playtest we did like during the early thing. We had
that was so good.
It was there. We wanted to do a gunslinger and an operative and how they would work at the table together, and both of them worked in very different ways. They captured the class fantasies. But, you had the person who had the gun who was doing kind of wacky trick shot, his weapons misfiring, exploding. And then you had the person who's like the professional who's just one shot, one kill, one shot, one kill. And they both contributed in very, very different and unique ways. All right.
So I'll ask a question.
Yeah.
So obviously, Starfinder First Edition was built on the DNA of Pathfinder First Edition, which is kind of the OG Elish, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that Starfinder 2 is closer to Pathfinder 2 in terms of its mechanical expression?
Yes, absolutely.
Obviously.
It is. Yeah, it is fully compatible. And I'll also let Mark give his ruling on that. But at least as the team's perspective, we used the 2nd edition rules. It's 2nd edition Pathfinder rules with some extra things added, like you have a computer skill and you have a piloting skill to, not just piloting vehicles, but piloting starships. And it has a navigation component as well. And there's just, there's new classes, there's new ancestries, but the rules, the math all works exactly the same.
Yeah. Like, it's not even a comparison. Starfinder 1 is a very different game to Pathfinder 1. It did have, I would say, slightly to the detriment of some of the cool things Starfinder 1 could have otherwise done. It did have a mandate that you somehow could use your Pathfinder 1 bestiary creatures in it, which forced Logan's in my hand on exactly at 9th level, we have to put in this one item because it makes up for this other thing that was in the Pathfinder 1 monsters or whatever. But then almost nobody ever did that, even though that compatibility existed, and the rest of it was not compatible. It didn't have Pathfinder 1 full attacks. It had a slightly different action economy. Everything was different. It was different, but similar. Whereas Starfinder 2, just looking at it, if you take a look at it online or wherever you can find it, you'll see it's Pathfinder 2, like Jenny said.
In
with new
space.
stuff in space.
Well, one thing we ran into in First Edition, I think at one point we had 3 or 4 different stat blocks for Hellhounds that existed in
You're right.
Starfinder because we had them in an org play scenario. They showed up in an AP, they showed up in a later AP, and someone forgot. And the thing that would have been nice would have been to go to the Pathfinder book and take the Hellhound stat block. Well, guess what? Now we can do that. One of the really interesting things in Alien Core that I think will help a lot of GMs who used Monster Core in the past or the older Bestiaries pre-master. So the elite and weak adjustments. I think we have 10 adjustments total in Alien Core,
Nice.
like including things like sapient, like
Give him a little smiley face.
aquatic, digital, like
Yes.
turn a creature into a digital monster.
Oh, yeah.
From the digital world, the fun stuff like that lets you, even take some of those Pathfinder creatures and maybe spice them up a bit. Like,
Yeah.
let's do a nanite infused troll. That's gonna be great.
I'm really excited for that. I think that's a really good design space. And honestly, when that Dr. Drolan dinosaur book came out for Pathfinder 2, it was full of dinosaurs. But the part I like the most is they also had like 50 adjustments that were like, this is a level +1 adjustment, but it's not just +2 to everything, because that's like, it's a little more boring. It's strong, it works, but it may even be too strong a little bit. So they gave like +1s and then some other thing.
Benefits,
It was like, look at these. They just allow you to create so many monsters so fast, so easily. I'm gonna be really looking
we
forward
did get
to
a
those.
super chat.
Yeah, we got a super
What
chat.
is that super chat?
Yeah, so we got a super chat from Jedi Protector. Shout out Jedi Protector, a regular.
May the force be with
Said,
you.
I remember my main complaint was that Starfinder 1 spaceship combat took either forever or it was way too short. Did you guys include Starship combat? If so, how did you improve it?
Okay, the answer is complicated. So we are working on a tactical Starship combat system that will play like, you are tactically playing out, the Starship combat. We are working on that. We want to take our time and really get it right. But what we do have coming out in GM Core is we have a kind of simpler system that is it kind of uses the complex hazard system in PF2, SF2 as a base. They're called cinematic Starship scenes. So essentially it's like a stat block of a hazard that has like, here's the ship the players are in, or like, as a GM, you could tinker with that a bit. And here's the enemies, and here's like anything in the area, like an asteroid belt or a black hole that's trying to suck you both in while you're dog fighting, and here's the victory conditions of this. Are you trying to escape? Are you trying to fight? And so we have that already. That should go more seamlessly into your play because you don't have to swap modes. You don't have to pull a hex map out. You're still using your characters. And that is our goal as well for tactical Starship combat, and why we're still playtesting it internally and working on it, because we want to make sure that it is something that you're playing your character with, but that you also have like the fantasy of having a ship,
Yeah, if we want to do a tactical Starship game with minis, we should do a tactical Starship game with minis.
Right.
We are at our core a role-playing game. And if we're going to be a role-playing game, we want to look at, what are expressions of that? Not to go too deep into what's been going on with that, but some inspirations that I held when I was involved with it, and it's since moved on quite a bit. So my information's somewhat old. I haven't been in the most recent playtests, but being inspired by things like the game FTL, where you are sort of on the ship managing what's going on. The focus is on your ship. If you look at shows like Star Trek, how many space battles in Star Trek are, well, we're on the bridge of the ship, seeing what everyone's doing and managing the crisis that way. But doing that in a fun way. One of the mandates I had that I felt was really important is I wanted to have a Starship combat system that allows for, the players are managing their starship in a tactical situation, but then they get boarded. So is it like, do I spend 2 actions to pilot my ship and then 1 action to shoot my pistol at the skeleton that's coming towards me? And those kind of all interface directly. To speak really quickly on the cinematic Starship scenes, that, as Jenny said, very, very much based on complex hazards as a baseline, and then kind of tweak some of the math and expectations from there. But that really worked to our advantage for a couple of things that the old tactical Starship system didn't work well in all adventures. So, for example, if you had to do an adventure where the players needed to do something in a rented starship, well, then you'd have to stat it out. They'd have to learn the stat block. They'd have to go into a whole new game. This just lets you clunk, give them a couple stats they have to read, and go roll their checks, do that. But where it really shines, in my opinion, is an organized play, where we had to create a whole kind of weird system of like, oh, here are some custom build ships that you get, but you only get like 2 or 3 of them. Now we can tailor it to the specific scenarios and put in these scenes and then really build off of that. So it's a very exciting system to me. I think it lends itself really well to keeping the players engaged, but also not becoming a 2-hour war game that they're playing on the side.
So Jedi Protector got their money's worth on that question.
Yeah, you're right.
So you on a super chat, we got the people that are going to answer those questions. In fact, I have a question. Tell me all about Alien Core 5 that's coming out in 3 years from now.
Boy.
It's all mech.
There you go. All max.
Somebody said that we should ask you about mechs.
I preempted the question.
There you go.
So mech rules is something that I suspect will come either it'll be soon after or along with Starship Combat, right? Like that will go together. It's something that we're thinking of as we're designing Starship Combat, because ideally we want them to we don't want them to be like a totally different subsystem probably.
It's on the roadmap.
It's on the roadmap. We're not there yet, but we want.
Will
we want to get there.
mechs be able to fight starships if they're good enough at fighting?
Ideally.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Ideally.
So do you guys want to talk about Murder in Metal City?
Oh my gosh, written by Jenny Jarzewski. Oh my god.
We got the one. So this is the box set.
Yep.
And what is the purpose of this box set? Because it looks like it has everything you need to start playing.
So this is I'll stress it and say this is not a beginner box. This is a very different product from a beginner box. This is a deluxe adventure. It is a curated experience. So what we wanted was everyone who's kind of coming into Starfinder, they're going to have that starting experience, and we really wanted to give them a sort of curated luxe experience. And that required a few things. One, it required us, making an adventure. Fans will know our lovely 64-page books that we tend to do. Let's get into logistics. Stephen often will talk fun logistics things on this show. Here's mine. Those things suck to store at a gaming store, and they don't like them because they're thin, they're bad on shelves, they get damaged easily, all of those things. So putting it in a box helped deal with that problem. The other thing is
these
exactly.
Little like module size.
Yeah, they can't even do these anymore.
And they don't. You can barely see the spine.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was buying things from a game store, they just had to put them all on the shelf, and they had trouble selling them compared to.
So you can't even make them.
No,
it's only hardcover.
And so these are very, very much, this is like a very curated experience that is intended to be first level. One of the things that's very unique about this adventure is it's only first level. You don't level up in it. So it's a 64-page, book of content that is only for one level. It comes with all the tokens you need, as Mark is showing there. It comes with all these handouts, maps, everything that you as a GM should need. Now, you are still going to need this big boy here, because this is not like an intro, like teach you how to play. It goes through how to play and gives you some sidebars for your first experience, but it expects you have player core. The pre-gens don't, detail out every specific thing on them. And that's very intentional because it's meant to be for people who are picking up the game. This is just supposed to be that first curated experience. Think of this like, our adventure paths. We typically release, adventure paths at launch. We have the first volume, and then we also have the rulebook. This is a more handheld experience at the beginning. I'm going to tell you who I made this for when I was pitching this. I made it to get VTubers to play our game because they have no attention spans,
Derek,
and they don't want to level up their characters,
Derek,
and all of these things that are barriers to entry to get people playing game. I wanted to give them a very, play these characters, see if you like them. You can go off from here and do your own thing. You can keep playing the system. Really, the springboard from this is going to be in a few months. We release Guilt of the Grave World, which is a 128-page hardback adventure, which is sort of like a
level 1 to 5,
2-3 volume AP style setup. But this is really meant to be the sort of luxe wine tasting experience.
So tell me about the adventure itself, because
Yeah.
it's like the title is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Murder
Okay.
in Metal City.
Absolutely.
Jenny,
Jenny,
Yeah.
Jenny,
Yeah.
Jenny,
I
Jenny,
can
go,
talk
go.
about it.
Jenny, stop talking
Yeah.
thirsty.
Shut up, Thirsty. No, I'm kidding. So, Murder in Metal City is what it sounds like. There's a murder in a metal city. So, you start out. I was kind of inspired by an old Pathfinder adventure, Carrion Crown, for how it starts. But you're kind of you get this contact. You're all of you pre-gens, or you can make your own characters. But all of these pre-gen characters knew someone in life. Professor, Tier 99 Professor, or Tyranny, as they call them, who is an Anacyte, a robot on the machine planet of Avalon. And on Avalon, there is a big metal city called Striving, where all sorts of Anacytes and other robots live, and people like that aren't robots as well. But there is an unfortunate murder, and it is up to you as the heroes to go and solve this murder in the metal city. So lots of like tech noir themes we were going for, or like kind of like, space noir. So if you look at the cover art, we were definitely trying to go for evoking that with the art we got. But it is very much an investigation, which is why we have a lot of these handouts and cards, because as a GM, it can be hard to keep track of all that in like an investigation, social type adventure. So
Doesn't even count the
And lots of cards.
yeah, lots of cards, and that's all in the books too. But basically, it is it's a murder mystery on a robot planet. So that's pretty
Is
Starfinder.
it just level 1?
It is
level
just
up?
level 1.
So
They
yeah.
specifically said you don't. So
You
that,
don't
that way
level up.
I
people
was
won't have
just
to deal
double
with leveling
checking. So,
up.
right. So you
Yep.
never level up.
You
so
do not level up, and at the end, when you're done,
Right.
you could level.
And I like that. So this is one of the new ones, the plant person.
Yeah, that's
the kids are,
yeah.
who is also the whole ancestry is also in the book.
Wow.
There's also a very goth punk Skittermander. I saw a comment in chat about
Oh,
Skittermander.
Look at that.
The
Oh, wow,
Skittermander,
that is a
yeah.
very funny-
Tap key. The
Tap
goth
Key's
punk.
awesome.
Yeah.
The hacker.
Hey.
One thing we did here that is a bit different from some of the prior offerings in this kind of vein is there's 6 pregens, even though the adventure is only intended for 4.
Mhm.
So we have all the classes, and each of these pregens here are society legal, so they supplement our iconics in society. So if you want to start off at a first level table, you've got 12 options to start now.
Oh.
Also, we should at the show, and I'm gonna jinx it by mentioning this, but we should have miniatures of Murder in Metal City, the 6 pre-gen characters, along with 1 bonus mini from our new partnership with Titan Forge and My Mini Factory.
Wow. And also, it comes with these beautiful tokens.
Yes, it does.
These tokens are very nice. There's a lot
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
They're really nice.
Yeah, we decided to try something different. Those are like little kind of POG style tokens, so they don't have the little plastic bases, and you just have them flat on the maps. So that's just another thing we wanted to try out with this
They're the
product.
perfect size to put as like VTT tokens.
Yeah.
But they are
Yeah.
sets.
Yeah.
Well, I know who's working on the VTT because people are asking where my modules are. They're like, we're too busy working on Paizo's modules because we have the same team.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's true. We keep giving them stuff. I'm sorry.
I'm like,
our fault.
I'm like, where's Elemental Storm? And my guys are literally just like, oh, Paizo's keeping us so busy. We gotta get Battleframe done. We gotta get Starfinder done. I'm like, thank God Gen Con's here. You know why? Because they can then work on my stuff.
You guys, did you see the super chat?
I didn't see that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Waters Lethy says Deep Rock Galactic Collab Deluxe Adventure Rock and Stone.
Talk to us.
Rock and stone
please.
to the bone. That'd be so
Yeah,
cool,
top-
like for real.
Yeah.
We used to play that a lot.
We did.
Yeah.
Jenny and I used to
Yeah.
play that. I would be down. I mean, if you hadn't heard, we just announced a collaboration with Digital Extremes and Warframe for that.
Someone did mention the
What?
Warframe mod in
Why
chat.
they
Heck
Probably.
Yeah.
is going on with? Okay, I have played Warframe.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a lot, but I played
Yeah.
it for a bit. What are you guys? Well, I don't even understand.
Okay.
This. Like, I don't
Okay,
even
okay,
understand
okay.
this phone collab.
I'm gonna-
What's going on?
That's funny.
Okay. I'll let Jenny talk about the adventure, but I'll talk about what
You
happened
wanna
to get
tell the
us there.
story?
Yeah.
Tell the story.
So let's cut to a year ago. I'm at a hotel room party, which never happens at Gen Con, with Luis Loza, our creative director for Pathfinder. Luis is like, Rep Ford from Digital Extremes. She's a really cool creative director. I was thinking about reaching out to her, and I'm like, you should. And he did. Then next thing I know, I'm in a meeting with Rev and the Digital Extremes team. And we had this, like, we described it as like this awkward dance of like let's check out each other's vibes. And then we realized we wanted to do something together because, you know, we found out from them they're huge Pathfinder fans. They're creative directors for their two big games. We're in the same Rise of the Runelords campaign together.
Wow.
So when we talked to them, they were like, this is actually like crazy that you reached out to us. It's almost serendipitous. Yeah. So we ended up partnering with them, doing a collaboration, I should say, to produce an adventure, a Starfinder adventure that is set in the Warframe setting.
Okay, so it's Starfinder Adventure.
Yeah.
But it's going to be set in the Warframe setting
Yes.
world and like lore.
Yeah.
And you're playing
Got
as
it.
proto-frames. So the pre-gen
it.
characters are not normal Starfinder classes.
They're
They are
not a mech.
proto-frames.
They're getting close. We're getting there.
They're
We're getting there. We're getting there.
We're so close
They're
to mech.
Warframe.
They
Yeah. We're so close.
the interesting thing too about that was that it really mimics what we were doing with Free RPG Day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's the exact same style of product. So we just sort of took that as a you know, let's go ahead with this, and we all agreed we wanted to, you know, see how it goes, see what people think. We got a lot of positive buzz on it. It's going to release in October.
I was going to say, when does that come out?
Yeah, so we
So
announced
soon.
yeah, in October.
Yeah.
So it's done.
It's
Yeah,
done
it's
already.
done.
Printer.
It's done. Oh,
Does that
yeah.
mean that
In
We're
the
not,
warehouse.
it's not even going. It's not going to be print. It's going to be a PDF only product.
Oh, okay.
It's going to show up in October around the same time as a Digital Extremes thing that they are doing in October. Just magically,
There you
it's going
go.
to appear there.
So does that mean proto frames are going to become like legal to play in your regular Starfinder game?
So again, like hidden tech talk here. This product won't have the Orc license in it. And that's
okay.
something we had to decide on. Primarily just because, you know, we were very excited to get this project moving and do it quickly to see the reaction. So there's, you know, licensing things that come with that. So we decided we wouldn't use the Orc for this. So no, you can't take our, you know, stats for a Corpus crew member and then throw them up on Archives of Nethys. But sorry. But, you know, the sky's the limit with stuff like this. Like, this is really about us testing the waters and seeing, you know, how many people are going to buy this? How many Warframe fans are going to want to buy
What
this,
level's the adventure?
It's 3.
3. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
that's a perfect
Level 3.
Not too high, not too low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a super chat because we've had about 100 people extra join us.
Okay.
So just real
Hello.
quick,
Welcome.
just to remind everybody who's on the panel here.
Hi.
Oh,
Oh, the
that's a
super
good- that's a
chat is
good
asking
question.
that. So let's start with Steven again and go.
I am
that
Stephen
direction.
Glicker, the publisher and founder of Roll for Combat.
I am Mark Seifter. I'm the director of game design at Roll for Combat. But if you're hearing me talking to these guys as if I formerly worked at Paizo, I did.
I'm Jenny Jarzabski, creative manager of Starfinder at Paizo.
I'm Thurston Hillman, professional problems, sometimes the associate publisher at Paizo.
And then we had another super chat from Rising Star, Pathfinder, 2nd edition, who wanted to make a question or a statement. Hearing scenes are hazard-based society. And what about the Pathfinder vehicle rules? Scenes sound simpler and alternative. Can we do, you know, can we interact with that for more complexity? So is it basically hearing that the scenes are hazard-based, you know, what about the Pathfinder vehicle rules?
So are they saying, let me try to rephrase that into what I think they're asking, which is, would they be able to take the tech that is used in Starfinder scene-based Starship combat? And
Well, I think what they're
backport it to
saying is,
Pathfinder to
Can
do
you
a-
interact the Pathfinder vehicle
Or
rules?
no, I thought
with-
they
I
were trying
think
to
they
say
wanna
you
know-
could backport it to Pathfinder 2 instead of using Pathfinder
Yeah.
vehicle
No, they're saying
rules to a vehicle scene.
do they interact for more complexity? Can
In
you
other words-
interact with the vehicle rules
Okay, that's a weirder question than what I thought they were asking.
with the scene rules?
I doubt
Basically,
it.
can you
No.
have everything?
No, well,
But we have
no,
vehicle
but what Mark was kind of getting at, I think, is the approach that you could take, which is you could take this system
Mhm.
and it could be easily reskinned to not be starships, but you could be on a Land Rover, and that Land Rover
Yeah.
might have roles that your players are doing, and you could easily port that back into Pathfinder
Right.
times and have an airship and do your airship style things.
Like
that way.
chariots
I
or
thought that would
whatever.
be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
And I still think
Yeah.
it's possible that's what
It
they
is.
were
Yeah,
asking.
And
it
it
is possible. You could do
absolutely
it. You have the
is, yeah.
framework for it. You're just gonna, you just have to be a little creative, but you are because you're playing these games. So,
Well, in
you know.
theory, everything in Pathfinder 2nd edition would work. In Starfinder, you just have to put the word space in front of
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
sure, but
Or star.
Or star.
Yeah.
but when you're doing these scenes abstracted like a hazard, you're not going to be able to use the ticky-tack vehicle rules literally from Pathfinder at the same time. But I do think there's a lot of promise in, especially since you know what? I'm one of the people who worked on the Pathfinder 2 vehicle rules, but I will be the first to admit that you're moving very fast with some of these vehicles, and you're just going to zoom across the flip mat, off of the flip mat. You're not even on the flip mat anymore. What are you even doing? It doesn't always work in every situation. If you're the guy who's like, I'm taking the trick driver archetype, I'm bringing it into the abomination.
But it works. But they work. It's the same system. And if they want to at least start with that as a basis, they can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So let me ask a question. What core mechanics, because I don't know what we should call it now, like, because it's in Pathfinder 2nd edition, but it's also Starfinder 2nd edition. Is it Paizo 20? I don't, whatever we're calling the core engine. But do you think what are the elements of that engine? We're talking, multiple attack penalty. We're talking, the rules, the guts of Pathfinder 2nd edition. What are some of the rules of that edition that you think work better in Starfinder than they worked in Pathfinder?
Economy.
Yeah, 3-action economy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, I'd love to hear about it.
I mean, I don't know if it works better in. Are you asking it works better than in Pathfinder or in
That was the question for
okay.
Chat. What works even better in Starfinder than what it initially was written for Pathfinder?
I would definitely say the action economy, because if you, as you've seen in memes, if you are out of spells, you may not be out of shells as a caster. So if you have a 2, as long as it's not a 3-action spell, you can just go pew pew. Like your 3rd action, I'm just gonna pop out my gun and go pew, and so that's nice. Yeah, and no map unless you did a spell attack. I guess that's pretty good.
The 2-action cast a spell and then 3rd action cast gun is a very effective combo in the game.
I think elves with bows have shown that even in Pathfinder, but that's not everybody. Whereas when everybody's got a gun, then nobody does. Wait, no, we couldn't make a syndrome quote for this.
The other things that I think really worked well with this was like the weapon scaling that we did worked really well. It made figuring out how we did different variants of weapons really effective. How to do like fusions and upgrades on weapons just worked out really well in this system. It all sort of like fit together very nicely when we started digging into the meat and the bones. I think one of the harder things, but I think one of the things that we can have more fun with in Starfinder are spells.
Oh yeah.
I think spells are just one of those areas where we can go to town. I know, on the subject of memes and whatnot, there is a 10th level Witch Warper spell that does 9,999 damage.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. We were told in design feedback we couldn't have a spell that directly killed someone. It couldn't just be like you can't just have a they die spell. So then we're like, what if we gave this obscene damage number? They were like, yes, that will work. And so we went that direction, which was, actually worked out way better. And people were like, oh, I see what you did there. Clever little old RPG meme kids. Yes. So I love the spells and what we've done with them in the book.
I have a question. My question is, how much did you guys test Pathfinder material in Starfinder, if at all?
A bit.
Our first playtests were run by Jason Bowman, who ran us through tropes of pretty much every move, bad like 80s
sci-fi movie.
Yeah, bad or good 80s sci-fi movie imaginable. Including The Predator, which was a great one. Which I think he just used a vampire stat block at one point.
Oh, he killed us hard
so we
on
ended
that
up
one.
our initial tests even were using things like, well, what are assumptions? And Mark probably remembers this from old playtest too. There's sort of level assumptions you have in Pathfinder 2. You have by this level you should be able to deal with something that's flying. By this level, they're going to be invisible. What do against that? And we had those encounters using Pathfinder creatures for the most part. And that was sort of really a basis of what we did to start.
It looks like another super chat.
Yeah, we did have another super chat from Lot of Unfinished Projects. That it's just more of a comment. It says, it's amazing how Magic the Gathering's new setting works better in Starfinder 2nd edition than in D&D. It's their new Edge of Eternities setting, and it's kind of over.
It looks awesome.
It is very cool. I drafted it last week. It's very Guardians of the Galaxy-esque, very sort of it's magic still, so it's kind of that science fantasy.
Yeah.
And so I think that it works really well. Because I will say, in my own personal campaign, that I'm playing in. We are playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition plus Battlezoo plus Starfinder 2 Beta.
Nice.
So we have
And Eldamon.
that's
The
it.
Eldamon trainer is like a nano.
And a nanite swarm.
That's so cool.
And then we have
simulates the Eldamon and then
Oh my God.
transforms into them.
But we also have a mechanic and an android soldier.
Oh, that's fun.
And case to the point, our spellcaster casts electric arc and then pew-pews with the gun.
Nice.
So one thing I noticed is the prevalence, and I'm kind of a Starfinder noob in that respect. I kind of bounced off the 1st edition. The prevalence of energy type damage amongst common weapons, right?
Yeah.
So shock rifle doing electricity damage, or laser weapons doing the fire damage. How much does that change the sort of calculus?
It changes, I think, how we approach monster design.
Mhm.
So one of the interesting things we found out from just doing the playtest and things we were looking at for monster design was, okay, one, we have to be really careful how many creatures we give amazing reflex saves. There's a lot of amazing reflex saves out there. And that's a math sort of impetus that we had.
Mhm.
But when it came to energy types, because the assumption is that players could have access to these, it made us almost more willing to use weaknesses and resistances, just because that adds almost a flavor to each encounter, because it's all so available. But the players aren't going to have 18 guns to proc it unless they're like a soldier who's holding 18 guns. That lets us do these fun things of like, oh, let's do something with sonic damage, or let's do something, resistances and immunities. So I think it actually opened things up more for us.
Yeah, I think so.
We did get a bunch of questions regarding the remaster of Pathfinder 1, and apparently
Pathfinder 2.
Pathfinder 2nd Edition from Starfinder 1, where Starfinder 1 apparently, I guess this is new knowledge to me, introduced the stamina system. And I guess they say that they cut the stamina system optional rules from the Pathfinder 2nd Edition remastered GM
A
core.
lot of optional rules didn't make it in there.
Yeah.
Is it in Starfinder? Because a lot of people in chat seem to feel like it fit really well in Starfinder.
Stamina is not in Starfinder, but it is an optional system in GM Core, like it is in Pathfinder.
Game Mastery.
Sorry,
Yeah, the old
yeah,
GM.
yeah. It is. So it exists as a possible an extra rule you can do, but no. It is like normal, like with Pathfinder 2, it is hit points. There are force fields you can get that basically grant you like a temporary hit point little bubble that you can, pop. But other than that, no, you would have to invest in something to have like an extra buffer. In the Warframe adventure, however, we did play with having regenerating shields, because that is something that Warframes and Proto-Frames have. So if you like that idea, you could maybe get that adventure and kind of like scavenge from it and put it back and use the shields. But we found in playtesting, though, that honestly, if you stick to, mostly like average or moderate encounters, I don't know why I always want to call them average. I know they're called moderate, but if you stick with like your low and moderate encounters and save those severes and extremes for when it really counts, you'll probably be fine. We haven't had a lot of problems.
I was gonna say, I just have a general question. I'm interrupting.
No, you're good.
So we have this out here, Murder in Metal City.
Mhm.
Yep.
We have the player core.
Yep.
We had the Galaxy Guide come out.
Yep.
So what does the rest of the year look like in terms of, because
sure.
like I want to like people
sure.
want to buy it and they want
Sure.
to play it. What's coming out? So they can
Let's
start using it.
go through all the cool stuff.
Mhm.
We also have an initiative tracker,
Yep.
which is our magnetic one similar to the Pathfinder one, retooled with the Starfinder design. We have a character folio. This is a really nice booklet that allows you to like slip sheets inside of it. Comes with all the sheets you'll need for a character. Great opportunity there. Those are all all that, but the character folio is out with the launch. We also have a novel coming out, which is something we haven't really talked too much about. Era of the Eclipse, a Starfinder fiction novel by Tim Pratt, which, to be clear, is kind of very exciting because we've never done Starfinder fiction in that way before.
I bet you Eric was very excited about that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It was a thing that I spearheaded. Jenny kind of worked on fairly regularly.
Yeah, I know Eric loves those novels. So.
Oh, yes. And I will say, and I say this to someone who went through all the Pathfinder novels, I think that this is actually the best novel we've produced.
It's good.
Just from a tying it into the setting, tying it into what our fan base wants. The pitch of this book is it is about a character who wakes up the day after the gap and we
wow.
experience that. It's actually a historical piece
Wow.
that talks about what happened on Absalom Station right after the gap. And it maybe develops some big mysteries and reveals some things and has some pretty large lore implications. It also has a bit of a jump forward where we find that this story is being kind of learned about by two of our iconics, Chick and Day, our iconic Solarian and our iconic Mystic, that are the new sort of iconics we have in the game. So that's Era of the Eclipse. It's really, really exciting. What else we got? GM Core?
We have GM Core coming out. That is in September,
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah.
Next month.
That is next
Yeah.
month. And then, no, it's fine. It's already done, so don't worry. So yeah, hopefully, right?
I have it at home. It's done.
It's done. Thank God. Then we have Alien Core coming out right after. And in October, we have Murder in Metal City. We have Guilt of the Grave World, which is a Zoe adventure that sends you to Eox. Also, you mine for space dwarves. So if the Rock and Stone people who are in here, like Deep Rock Galactic people, you might want to check that out because you do get to spend some time with on the Star Citadel with some dwarves.
What level's that adventure?
And that one is 1st level through 5th level.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's more of our, longer, like our traditional length, like an AP volume or like a module. So it
AP
is
Volume Plus.
AP Volume Plus, yeah. And you get to meet Zoe. You get to go to Eox and learn some ancient secrets about the Pact worlds that have been lost to history.
And a pretty big setting change that happens at the
Yeah.
end of it. Because
I
we're
won't spoil
trying
that.
to advance more of the continuity, similar to what Pathfinder's been doing.
And then the
Advance more of-
Warframe comes out in October.
October, yeah.
October. Also in October, we have Warframe, Murder. We have Guilt of the Grave World. I said Alien Core, and that is, I believe, our
One other thing. We have organized play releasing.
Yeah.
scenarios.
Bring that
Yep.
up next. It's like,
as we
can't
sit
forget
here
about
in the
organized
Sagamore
play.
Ballroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
No, so our organized play, the Year of Invasion's Edge, is debuting here with 4 scenarios. Then we're releasing 2 scenarios a month. This is at our new shorter scenario length. So this is in the about 3 hours. It's about half the length of prior scenarios. It's meant to be running about 3 hours.
so it's not like
So wait.
1 hour.
Prior scenarios were meant to be running 6?
What?
No.
No.
well-
But like half the size,
half
right?
the size, but
So
still
2 to
most of
3.
the
Yeah.
play
As
length.
opposed
Yeah,
to
exactly.
3 to instead of 4 to
Exactly.
5.
Just because you cut half the words doesn't mean it's half as long. Trust me,
Well,
that's not how
Yeah,
OP
no,
works.
I know
Yeah.
that. I just thought when you said length that
Yeah,
first I
no.
thought you meant words, but then you immediately said hours. So I was like, oh man, that could be different.
Well, we are aiming again for a bit of a shorter thing. One of that is just it's really pushed by the evolving needs of the market. Game stores aren't really able to host like 5-hour game slots anymore. People are getting off work. They need to go home, have food, shower. They aren't getting to the game store till
Unlike
6.
5 years ago. When,
Yeah, I
we
know.
just would stink all day.
Yeah,
and play games.
exactly. But then like game stores are closing at like 9-10 nowadays, right? And then like I heard horror stories of people who were like, we ordered Domino's and we're eating it out of Bill's truck in the back of the game stores. We filled out Chronicle sheets, and it's like,
God.
let's even at conventions here, running a slot and getting out an hour early and having an hour to walk around the con. I don't think anyone's complaining to have a little breathing time between their games.
I heard it was like pretty common. I know like for some people who really added a lot of role play and lore
Yeah.
to it, like Linda or John Compton, to be like kicked out filling the Chronicle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100%,
We would
100%.
come out and see them in the hallway because
Yeah.
they were still running like 6 hours later.
So we have 2 scenarios a month for that. We just released the player's guide, which is online on Paizo.com. That player's guide also introduces 2 ancestries, the Akeshti
And
the
Shobat.
Shobat. Yeah, from Akaton.
So lizard people that squirt like blood out of their eyes and have weird family structures, and then also big like 4-armed kind of John Carter of Mars inspired like big brute aliens, but they're cool. They're not like just big brutes. They're obviously
things going
intelligent,
on.
and they've got layers.
They've got the best 17th
Yeah.
level feat in the game, which is
They
you can
do.
throw a guy 30 feet, and as they're flying, you whip out your sniper rifle and shoot them midair.
We had a super chat from AKA Kira, out of left field question. Has there ever been any discussions, presumably at Paizo, on having a separate book or document with a list of optional rules to be clarified for remaster for both Starfinder and Pathfinder?
What? What does that mean
Do you-
exactly? A list of optional rules to be clarified for a remaster?
That is their question.
No, but I guess I don't understand what they're asking. Do they mean like
It's like
clarifying
an
the optional rules
internal-
for game mastery guide?
Like an
that didn't
internal list for us to address problems. things
I
like
think they
that.
want
but they
something
said
like a
optional.
publication
Right.
of just
Yeah.
optional
That's-
rules all in one list for both Starfinder and
But
Pathfinder
then they
Second
said
Edition.
updated also, which made the
Right.
question even a
I
little
think
more
they just want a
confusing.
list of all the optional rules
Yeah.
in one location for the game.
You know, potentially maybe even
Archives
from
of
like
Memphis.
other
Yeah.
sources, like maybe not just the GM guide, but like, or the GM core, but
see.
like
I mean, I love
from
optional
various
rules, I just am
modules
not
and stuff
sure
like that.
exactly
Because
what
like some of the
Well,
random
that-
modules
that's-
have
I think
optional
that's
rules.
the question. Like,
Yeah,
in other words, one location. But doesn't Archives of Memphis kind of do that? In a
Yeah,
way?
I mean,
Yeah,
and that
Archives
would
of
that would
Nethys.
be the thing, right? Is like a place online to carry them would be something like Archives of Nethys.
Mhm.
You know, one of the things is I remember, was it Rift that did one or two books that were just appendixes for their other books?
Oh wow.
That sounds
I don't
right.
feel like that was
Sounds-
so
That
well.
sounds
Sounds like something they
right.
would do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's just a memory that's sticking in. But no, you know, with the online systems we have now, Archives of Nethys and whatnot, that's kind of the ideal for us.
You know, and I don't think as a printed product, it's at best that might be a PDF. You're never gonna have
Yeah.
that as a printed
Yeah, yeah.
product.
As
Okay,
some-
Dustin 3.5 did have the rules compendium, which was
no, it
useful,
did,
but
it did.
yeah.
But did it do well?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a
that-
different, it's a
Yeah.
different world now.
Yeah, it's a different
I
world.
love those optional rules. They are among my favorite things of all time. I was so stoked that Pathfinder Unchained was like my first book to work on when I
Yeah.
joined Paizo, for example. But even I understand that you can't just publish a book of those, much as I adore them.
But they're available and they're pretty. If anything, they're very easy to find and combine online. If anything, it's faster and easier.
Yep.
Just for us to find them and do them, we're probably gonna miss half of them. So. if they said to me like, Steve, put together a book of everything, I'd be like, okay, did someone do this for me already online? And can I just use that because that's all I'm gonna do?
Yeah, we have a great community. They love to
Yep.
do stuff like that too. So it's probably out there.
Yeah.
It might be.
That might be. So, what are you most excited about for Starfinder? Both of you.
Things I can't say yet.
Oh,
It
But-
always is.
that's always the answer. It's like, well, we got so many cool things
I
coming. I
know.
can't talk about. Those are the best.
Because you can
This
only
is good, but those are better.
Steven, you can only talk about the things you worked on like almost a year
do-
ago. So the things you're in the mode of right
You
now.
can't-
You're
like-
100%.
Do you
right.
like ancestries?
me?
Yeah.
No, we only have 5,000.
Yeah.
Of them.
Do you want more ancestries?
I already have a lot, but I could always.
Do we
use
do we
more.
do you want more Starfinder ants? Like a lot more Starfinder? That seems to be a direction we could take things. You know,
Okay.
that's got me excited.
Well,
Is
you saw a
ancestries?
hint right here for some unrevealed.
I revealed nothing. I just said ancestries
I
are
said it was a
cool.
hint for unrevealed information. To me, that sounds like there may be something involving ancestries and Starfinder at some point in the
pretty
future.
cool.
Uh,
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so we had another super chat from Shan Wolf who said wanted to know if some of the cool trailers and stuff that they're
Oh,
seeing
yeah, that we're seeing
very
Yeah,
vaguely in the
yeah,
background,
I'm seeing some of those.
are those going to be put up on YouTube, or do you have to be a
Yes, we
Gen
should.
Con?
I
We
haven't
have
even.
some of those,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh wow. There it is. I haven't seen it on a big
Looks really
screen.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have a cool Starfinder commercial.
Whoa.
Awesome.
That looks
That
cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
We have a lot of cool things. Okay, but okay. You should
What?
answer that question because I'll
Okay.
give a real answer. But I wanted to tease something because Steven won't let me get away without teasing something on
Yeah,
the show.
that's important.
That's fair. My real answer is I am very excited about the Warframe crossover. I'm excited to see people play it. I'm excited to see people coming, hopefully, from the Warframe community and discovering Starfinder and Pathfinder and, you know, Roll for Combat and like everything else that's here in the tabletop sphere that they probably didn't even know existed because they probably only ever heard of D&D, which is awesome. But I just want them to like, you know, come on and play games. That's what I'm really excited about is the opportunity for hopefully more people to play Starfinder.
Yeah, and for my actual answer, I'd say the thing I'm most excited about right now, and partly because I've been taking a pretty active role in it myself, is our recent partnership with Titan Forge and getting into the STL 3D print miniature scene. That has been an experience. We have or will have here 3D printed miniatures for Pathfinder and or for Starfinder Iconics and the Murder in Metal City Iconics.
You said as long as you didn't jinx it, though.
Yeah, I know. As long as I don't jinx it.
It's in transit
the
right
boxes
now.
are in transit
Yeah.
right now.
I just bought my first 3D printer.
Yeah,
Nice.
I will.
Don't go down that.
Yeah, go
Don't-
down that
Oh, I've
road.
already
Don't
done
go-
it.
Oh,
Go down that road.
And we never saw Derek again.
Yeah, I will say the types of things we're getting out of this partnership already. You can actually take a moment here. If you're at Gen Con, you can go see the Battle of Hell Knight Hill that we have all the way down there. All the miniatures on that table were done by Titan Forge, and those miniatures are, great, stunning quality. They're of Pathfinder things, and it's a partnership that lets us be a bit more agile. Certainly we've had a great relationship with WizKids in the past. We've done a ton of
Look at that, he's
Pathfinder
moving the camera.
opportunities, but I think the Titan Forge one, because of how STLs work and just the lack of manufacturing necessary, or as in-depth manufacturing necessary, we can pivot and do things like, hey, this Battle Cry event we're doing this, we can do minis for that almost within months of figuring it out. And I mean, with Starfinder, you're going to see some of those STLs going up. This guy right here, this big old Akashic Dragon on the cover, we have an STL mini for that, and it's pretty awesome.
And that's
So-
a really fun looking
And,
dragon.
well,
and
and-
we
yeah.
love dragons at Roll for
We do
Combat.
love
Yeah.
dragons. And I know Thirsty is somewhat of a mini connoisseur.
Mhm.
He's
Correct.
actually one of the best painters
Oh my god!
I've ever seen.
He's pretty
Stop it!
He's very good, dude. He paints Nurgle. Okay, that stuff is hard. Okay, he is very good.
I painted about 100 miniatures for that table over there.
Oh,
And-
really?
yeah, and I had Eric coming up to me.
Wow.
He's like, oh, they're so good. And I'm like, this is my lowest tier paint job, and
Oh
I
my
hate
God.
them.
As an apparently an elitist snob of a miniature painter, what are your thoughts on Slapshop?
Shout out to the Honest Wargamer, the person who invented Slapshop, the undisputed person. No, I like it, but I'm actually like an old school base wash layer.
Layer highlight.
I'm-
Okay.
That's
The old
my-
GW standard.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
So now I see why you're so excited about the STL, because you're going to be. Do you have a printer?
Oh yeah,
Oh
I printed all those
Yeah, he's
minis.
in hog
All the
heaven.
minis here, I
Oh.
printed at home,
So
painted
To be clear-
them,
to be
brought
clear,
them here.
I only have an FDM printer. I still need to get a resin.
Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Good.
I got a P1P.
Good. Yep. No.
So,
Perfect.
so what we need to. So you're gonna no longer be. Are we gonna be seeing you no longer painting Nurgle and all that? You're gonna be only painting Starfinder.
Trust me, I will have a problem soon because talking with our partners there is like, well, what kind of minis do you guys want to put out? And I'm like,
no.
oh,
And we never saw Thirsty again.
Again.
It's like Thirsty's in the corner with like paints and minis and resin.
That
He's
was-
like,
It's like
That was
associate,
my
associate
word.
mini
I mean,
painter.
that was the lead up.
Official Roll for
It's the
Combat
next
STLs would be
mystery.
kind of cool.
I have official STLs.
But like for all the Eldamon,
Buried under after he goes
Only for 10.
style into the pile of minis.
I need minis for my.
That has
I
been
gotta
my
use.
life though.
I gotta use
before.
stand-ins.
I'll hook up after the show. Thirsty and I will talk.
Yeah.
We'll hook up.
Yeah.
Someone
No,
asked a
but-
question. Can we ask Thirsty if there will be a clown war?
The Clown
crossover?
Wars. Okay.
What is
Listen.
Is
Listen.
this from Nardek?
It's from Nardek, and
Oh,
we
Lordy.
we have a meme about the Clown Wars, which we released as an April Fool's joke because one of my players just made up something about the Clown Wars and then was like, I spent a hero point to make this canon, and I'm like, fine, the Clown Wars are canon in our setting, and now it's just a meme joke we have, and there's a PDF on our Patreon for that.
We
So-
do have some of another of his home settings in this book, though. He has abused
Oh, yeah,
his powers
I
and
did.
put it in. So if you go Galaxy Guide, Casmerg's Absurdity is one of his little
I
playgrounds.
took
Pretty
my
cool.
home campaign setting and I made it canon because they gave me power.
Yep.
I may have inadvertently screwed you over here, Stephen. Chat's very excited about STLs of all your
Yeah.
minis.
You can go to battlezoo.com right now and you can get STLs. They're right on there, and you buy it
They
right this
are.
minute. They will be in your inbox within 10 seconds.
Do you
So
have a My Mini Factory account? You should
I
get
don't.
that
I don't
on
know
that,
what this
too.
means. So it says, will there be a rot grind
Oh, that's-
crossover?
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
that's my show. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The show I GM for. I should
Got it,
say,
got it.
yes.
So will you be tackling Starfinder Second Edition, presumably?
There's interest. There's high interest.
I would love to see a rot grind like a rotted Starfinder.
I do know that
That'd
the
be so
players
good.
for Narrative Declaration are very keen on doing this Warframe one shot when it comes out.
Ooh.
Well, that'll be exciting
Yeah.
for everyone, I think, if you can do it.
Yeah.
So way back, I think it was in 2000, maybe 2018, maybe even 17. The Roll for Combat did a show at PaizoCon with Order of the Amber Die, and it was a game show on the world of Starfinder, where they went to the world of Pathfinder and Absalon, and so we mixed the Pathfinder with the Starfinder, and we had both teams compete that I ran and wrote. So now, because it's one rule set,
Yep.
when are we going to have the Starfinder / Pathfinder or Pathfinder /
The crossover?
Starfinder
The crossover.
crossover, official crossover?
Sooner than you think.
Oh.
Mhm.
All right, that would actually be kind of.
We've had them too, but yeah.
Yeah, they've happened in like past.
Yeah, but this is
right?
yeah, but
like
now
a
we
sort of
I know what you mean, though. You mean like a
Yes.
big,
Right, a
yeah,
real
yeah,
big
yeah,
one.
yeah. I know what you
It's
mean.
on the roadmap.
Okay.
It is on the roadmap.
I mean, you
It's
got
all on the roadmap.
Yeah, Starfinder exists in a weird dynamic because you guys don't know me that well, but I pretty much hate all ancestries that didn't like get written by J.R. Tolkien.
By the way, that is Derek Melenda from Knights of Last Call. So don't hate Roll for Combat or Paizo.
right. This view is not
Yeah,
sponsored
Derek
by Roll
only
for
likes
Combat.
elves and dwarves.
All right, elves and dwarves.
And he
But-
hates fleshies and puppets.
Right, I hate
the most.
leshies. I hate Shoonies. I hate the most.
Oh, shoonies are the worst.
What
Don't
about
listen to this,
Skidamanders?
Eric. Don't listen.
But that goes out the door when it's sci-fi.
Right.
So you
So
love Skidamanders?
so I love the whole
Yeah.
Mos Eisley
Even
Cantina.
Skidamanders, even
Yeah.
though
You know,
they're
the
so
weirder
cute.
Wait
the-
a second. So
Like if you gave me a hyper intelligent shade of blue, I'm like,
Well,
yeah.
you can basically play that.
What if we gave you like
For sure.
4 more pages of like elf content in Starfinder themed?
I mean, elves are cool, but I just saying, like when there's a 4-armed creature randomly or some ooze Jabba the Hutt thing, like
Yeah.
So
cool.
Derek, would you play a Raxolite, which much like a Leshy is a small, like kind of plant?
I'd play a
kind of
Leshy
thing?
in
Yeah.
Starfinder.
You'd play even a Leshy
So,
in Starfinder.
I
What
figured-
about a puppet in Starfinder?
Okay, there are some limits.
There are
Mark.
limits.
wait. But all we have to do is
What
put
about a
the
living
word
hologram?
space in front of it.
Absolutely.
All right.
So
all
it's like a puppet? No, space
a
puppet.
Yeah, there you
space
go.
puppet.
Ooh.
Action
We
figure.
can- yeah, I was gonna say action figure. Just name it an action figure.
What if it has
Oh,
Yeah.
Write
I
that
don't-
down.
it's
Or
like-
y'all
I
can
think
have
the
that
favorite-
one on your
Okay, wait.
channel.
The thing with the puppets is, in a world that has droids, I'd be much more likely to play a small like droid a la
Yeah.
R2D2
Yes.
than I would
And we
like
have
a
those.
puppet.
Right.
Kind
Think
of.
about
SROs.
an action figure heritage like Gino from Super Mario RPG, where the
Or like
action
Toy
figure
Story.
kind of comes alive, or like Toy Story.
Or
yeah. Buzz
what was the Lego movie? The Lego movie. That's just what it was
Yeah.
called.
Lego movie.
Shoot! Now I need to run a campaign. Oh no.
That'll be the quote of this. What was that
So-
movie called? The Lego movie. Oh, the Lego,
The Lego
movie.
So for clarification, somebody asked about the box that Steven's holding.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
And
Ah.
you detailed that is not a beginner box.
It is not.
No.
But
looks like it's
will
a
there be
deluxe
a
edition.
beginner box?
It's on the
It's
roadmap.
on the roadmap.
On the roadmap.
Yeah. there will
No,
be.
certainly we want. Certainly we want to. There's timing. Like the issue with a product like that is it takes a lot of effort to do it correctly, and then also do it in a timing. Like if you look at what we're releasing over the next few months, there's so many books.
Yeah.
Adding a beginner box onto that is so much more. But we want to do it. But we also need to make sure that once we launch a game, that we are providing new content. I think one of the stumbling blocks we've had in the past, and we saw it a bit in Starfinder First Edition, was we released some content and then we kind of stopped doing rules player-facing content, which there was like a gap of that when we did the beginner box and a few other products like the Alien Archives that had some player options, but not as much as like a core book. We want to make sure that we are getting players options so the people who do buy the core game are getting cool new shinies, but then also making sure we do a beginner box at an appropriate point so people can get new people into the game as well.
And to be honest, from the business point of view, I'm actually pretty sure this came up.
Yeah.
Not to be a dick.
Yeah.
But you could buy the Pathfinder beginner's box, which already exists and it's excellent. Learn the system and then just buy this.
The other thing
play
is
this.
what we found with beginner boxes and those types of products is there's usually someone who is kind of running that, who knows the system already and has purchased it. So giving our ecosystem a year or more to develop and build up, let's say, brand ambassadors, so that when we release a beginner box, there's people who will go and buy it to recruit their friends is what we need. If we just throw it out there at the beginning, it's kind of the Wild West. And this way it helps us sort of lean into that a bit with a Starfinder theme.
And you need to learn what resonates and what people are having
Exactly.
stumbling blocks on, and you need to better define in the beginner's box.
Absolutely. Because
Exactly. We'll
the
be watching,
adventure,
you know,
yeah.
we'll be watching forums and kind of seeing like how play experience goes, and that will inform us like building that adventure.
Absolutely.
It really will. So
And also, beginner box are a pain.
You don't have to tell me, Steve.
I know. I've
Fortunate
heard the
son
stories.
plays. Mark stares off into the
It's
distance.
like, hey, Mark, we're gonna do a beginner's box, and then I just hear like the mic thump.
A
down.
beginner
I'm
box for Eldamon.
and I never heard from Mark again.
He was found underneath the same pile of minis.
I know. I was like, oh no,
He was hiding there.
Mark. He's with.
I'm almost
with
done his
13.
highlights, guys.
I'm just gonna paint. I'm only painting minis from now on.
I'm planning on stopping by the Army Painter booth. I need to get now that I got this
yeah,
this 3D printer. I got to get back
no.
into minis. I got to
Right.
got to get back
I
into.
gotcha.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you don't work anymore.
That's right. I got plenty of time to just paint.
It's everyone's dream.
Man after
You
my
know
own
what?
heart.
Derek, just make a stream of you painting the minis, and
Derek Rage ASMR, where I'm just like, why does it look like crap? No.
The funny thing is, we asked Derek, "Are you going to be part of the stream?" And he's like, "No."
Well, then I
Meanwhile-
realized I'm the voice of the chat.
He's
yeah,
the voice
he
of
could be
chat.
Statler and Waldorf over there.
Yeah.
while we're on screen.
So, anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, it is actually getting kind of cooler in here, though.
Yeah.
is.
I think they might be turning on some stuff
They
now.
might
Maybe.
be
Yeah.
turning on some air conditioning.
Well, it's it's the afternoon of Wednesday, so it's kind of unofficial
Yeah.
Gen Con. It's Gen Con session 0.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
actually have to start pre-air
Pre-AC,
conditioning
Right.
to get
yeah.
it for tomorrow.
It's
So we-
anything
yeah.
like the fridge in my hotel. It needs overnight to get those
That's
drinks
right.
cool.
So, what are you guys going to be? Where are you going to be, and what are you going to be doing in terms of any talks, any demos, anything, or are you just going to be around?
We've got a few. We got a few panels coming up. I have those. I have a schedule that is not in my face right now, but I know that it is in the Gen Con schedule, or it should be. Thirsty's looking it up.
I'm getting
Thirsty's gonna help me because he's got the phone. I will also be in a live play on Friday, running Starfinder 2nd Edition. He's gonna also tell me in just a second when he gets
Yeah,
this.
I got you.
schedule.
Can anyone see that
And we'll also
online?
be at the booth. So if you come down come down to our booth, which is like right in the front, you will not miss it. You can find us there. You can find us up here in the Sagamore Ballroom, where we have a second store with all of our products. It's just smaller, and the scrolling.
You can see it in the back there,
Okay,
in the
okay.
background of the shop.
And there's
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Whoa. And then
You can
more.
also find us. So you can find us sometimes, and you should just go to the Omni Severin Hotel Bar, where we have the Drifter's End Space Diner. So it is a Starfinder themed little diner. It can be a cantina if you want to
Really?
drink, but there's food, there's booze,
Damn.
there's non-alcoholic beverages.
Oh, I know where all the Paizo people are going.
Yup.
That's where we're gonna be, like at night, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So our panels that we have on Friday from 2 to 4. We're doing the 2nd edition live panel. We have our launch panel on Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m.
Aren't they just going to be broadcasted? Or
They're gonna
podcast?
be we're gonna be putting up recordings after that. We did pre-recordings of them, but we're gonna do the live ones here.
Okay.
So we'll be putting up recordings after. We
So
also have.
Will you be doing a live stream from here or no?
No,
just
not
recording?
from here. We learned our lesson. We look at what we had to do to get this to work.
I know it
My
took all
God.
5 minutes.
I know.
I'm a pro.
But we had to call in.
professional.
Not everyone has
Professional.
Derek Melinda to set it up.
Then we
Sure.
have rules and Pathfinder, Starfinder rules crossover, and then a Monster Mash Monster Mash like alien kind of monster creation panel as well. Those are the big ones that we're putting on. We'll be at some of those. I will be in meetings for most of my time here and frantically running from one thing to another. You can also catch. Sometimes I'll be around the Hell Knight Hill table there, seeing how the big mini fight goes. Our interactive specials are going on
Mhm.
during the big nights here, so come check those out. The big Starfinder
Yep,
launch.
Thursday night.
Yep.
Did we get a time for Jenny's Friday game?
on there?
Friday game.
I'm sorry. I know when our check-in time is, like the tech check.
I don't know.
but
What, I'm doing things. I don't know when.
Yeah, I have a schedule and it's just not with me.
I will just be at the booth almost all of the time, chained to the booth, so Steven can go do his.
To be clear, the roll for combat booth.
The roll for combat booth,
Yeah, not the Paizo booth.
Booth number.
1949. 1949.
That is
That's what the
Friday
number I put in on the die pad. That's
afternoon, but I am having troubles getting the exact time. Check the check Paizo.com. It'll be up there. Check it'll be up there.
Well, it just came in.
Oh, okay.
I can see the chat. I just
I
can't,
can't read it from here.
It's way too far away.
For some odd reason, I lost the chat.
Oh no! Well,
No.
I'll look. I'll
Maybe
look.
Thirsty.
Oh, Thirsty
I'm
has it.
I'm pulling.
I'll look.
I pulled.
Oh,
No,
Steven's
I.
running away to find
I
out.
haven't- yeah, I know.
Saying
Look.
super chat.
I'm
but
having to run everything up my
if
own.
Biohacker is in the pipeline.
Oh,
It's on the roadmap.
it's on the roadmap.
It's on the roadmap.
I can
There you
do
go.
it now. We don't even.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we still want to do. There's a lot of stuff we have to look at how it worked in first edition. Here's another thing that is kind of important to the team is not just redoing all the first edition stuff. We want to do new stuff. That's
Yes.
very important to us. So don't be surprised if you see some wacky new things coming out soon too.
Mm-hmm.
What about people who want to take some of the first edition Starfinder and throw it into second edition?
Go ahead.
Go right
Be
ahead.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, just you're not going to be doing it.
I mean, yeah, like we don't have anything at this time. Like obviously, the future is anything. We might, I don't know, a Dead Sun's redo, like
Right.
stuff like
You
that.
never know.
That's not
Mechageddon
confirmation, by the way. We're not
remake.
actively
Dead
doing
Sun.
anything
It's
like
not
that.
on the
Yeah.
roadmap.
Yeah, correct. But it's one of those things of we're kind of trailing new paths here in
It's like
space.
we're finding paths. and
No, we're
Finding-
trading. No, I'm out.
Finding-
Finding? He's like, I'm not going to come up with a better tagline than that.
Yeah, there
I'm
we go.
done. Thirsty out.
I won Gen Con. Bye, everybody. Good see all the things that On Call GMK buy.
Well, with that, I think that was a pretty good way to end the show because Thirsty's not going to beat that. Jenny, do you have anything to say?
I just want to say I'm really excited for you to come to Gen Con or go on Paizo.com and grab some Starfinder stuff. Check out the game. Check out the Warframe thing when it's out. So excited.
And check out your adventure.
Murder in Metal City. Your own murder mystery in space.
Ooh. What about you, Mark? What do you got to say?
What do I have to say? I have to say, until next time, if you want to battle the zoo, you have to roll for combat.
That's right. See you guys, everyone. We'll be
Bye.
around Gen Con. Just
Thank
come by and
you.
say hi. We love you all.